President Trump, I have a question. Why do you take $1.3 billion from after-school programs?
Today on Fox 11 News In Depth, the battle over after-school programs. President Trump wants to cut federal funding, but backers like Arnold Schwarzenegger are fighting back. We'll take a look at the controversy and show you one after-school program turning these computer kids into cyber champions.
North Hollywood High School, coached by Jay Geringer.
Plus, California's exploding shortage of medical assistants. How UCLA is working to meet that demand by starting a whole new program from the ground up. Fox 11 News In Depth starts right now. Hello, everyone. I'm Hal Eisner. President Trump talks a lot about the wall, not so much about after-school programs. But his latest budget has a lot of other people talking, especially those who don't want to see them cut, including former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Why give it to the rich folks and take it away from the poor little kids? It doesn't make any sense.
Arnold Schwarzenegger speaking out on Twitter. He's a Republican, a conservative, but also one of the strongest supporters of after-school programs. He even founded one called After School All-Stars.
I became successful, and I will really keep going. I will really keep trying my best.
Back in 2002, Schwarzenegger supported Prop 49, mandating more than $500 million a year for after-school programs.
Proposition 49 will get kids off the streets and into a safe, supervised educational environment.
The initiative passed, and a year later, Schwarzenegger was elected governor. Flash forward 17 years, and President Trump's new budget for a better America is calling for an end to federal spending on after-school programs. For the last couple of years, the president's budget director has been saying the programs are failing to do what they were supposed to do: help kids.
Guess what? There's no demonstrable evidence they're actually doing that. There's no demonstrable evidence they're actually helping results, helping kids do better in school.
California's Department of Education is fighting the proposed cuts, putting out this video saying after-school programs are needed to help poor families.
A lot of parents don't have that extra income. They would be working only to pay for, a child care or, a safe place for the kids.
Keep in mind, these are proposed cuts. They haven't happened yet. But losing $1.3 billion, that's B as in boy, in federal money would mean some programs would be cut. Joining me now, Alvaro Cortez of Beyond the Bell, an organization that runs after-school programs at hundreds of schools in the LA Unified School System. Also, two students, Lina Kim of North Hollywood High and Abigail Miranda, who is from Sylmar High School. And hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good. It's got nice smiles.
Yeah.
You're all ready for this. I want to ask you about the governor, the former governor. What's your sense of his commitment to these programs and the anger that he's feeling?
His anger is real, and his anger is well expressed from all of us. A lot of it is still that viewing after school as babysitting. And it's a ridiculous concept as far as
But there are people that think that. There are people that think that I can't get off work in time. I'll put my kid into an after-school program. They'll be taken care of, and then I'll get off work, and then I'll come and get them. And that's not
the case. Because a lot of our programs are needed to be for both academic and enrichment. It's not just sitting around watching the kids, read a book. So a lot of it is actively engaged and involved. And they're there for an average of 2 hours. And so we need to keep them constantly moving and running, particularly in the elementary school age. You can't sit around having a child read at 11 and 6 years old for 3 hours. That's difficult to do.
Let me ask the two students here. You both go to different schools. Have you both been in this program for a long time?
Yes.
Yes. And so let me ask Abigail first. What has this program meant to you?
It's like a second family. They've supported me. They've pushed me. They've encouraged me to open more doors to my future. And it's been great, and it's helped me a lot. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, and Lina?
I would definitely second what Abigail says. It's pushed me to explore a lot of things that I would never have considered before.
Let me ask you about the former governor. I want to ask you what you think of what he's saying, but first let's listen to a little bit more of what he has to say.
When you go into tax reforms, which is going to cost the taxpayers $500 billion every year, why give it to the rich folks and take it away from the poor little kids? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's what you did at the Trump University and stuff like that, but that doesn't make any sense normally. So put it back in, okay?
He's not holding back at all. I mean, he's pretty upset.
Right.
What's your reaction of what the former governor is saying?
I mean, I'm inclined to say that he has some pretty good points out there, which is that these after-school programs are absolutely critical for students in high school and middle school and elementary school.
So if they were to be lost, I don't know what would happen. I mean, would for-profit programs fill the void?
They would to a point, but we're 80% free and reduced lunch in Los Angeles Unified School District. They can't very well afford an additional sum of money in order for fee-based. These kids will be sitting at home. And we've also seen studies have shown between 3 and 6 p.m. is a very violent time of crime, where our students, teenagers, etc., are either the perpetrators of the crime, unfortunately, but more than likely the victims of crime.
That's always been the argument, by the way, that if you give the kids something to do after school, they're not going to be doing stuff with gangs, they'll be doing stuff with you. Southern California has hundreds of after-school programs, just a whole lot of them, and they're everything from marching bands to computer competitions, including one I profiled 2 years ago at North Hollywood High called Cyber Patriots. The teams behind those laptops are members of North Hollywood High School's Cyber Patriot program. Think of them as members of a cyber defense squad that in a grueling competition have to find and defeat hackers. The hackers, known as the Red Team, they're role-playing, but they really do hack into systems. And these kids really do need to do some professional cyber sleuthing to shut it down.
And we're going over the Red Team debriefs from the past.
Jay Geringer is North Hollywood High's Cyber Patriot coach. He's a winning coach, but 3 teams going to the finals out of 4,400 that were in the competition. This is what it looks like when you win the Nationals, the thrill of victory.
North Hollywood High School, coached by Jay Geringer.
North Hollywood took the crown in 2014, the next year's second place. This may be an after-school program sponsored by Beyond the Bell, but to many of the kids, it's a preview of what may be to come in their grown-up lives, and hopefully come home with the crown as the team in 2014 did. This is the LAUSD All-City Honor Marching Band at the Kingdom Day Parade. They also march in the Rose Parade every year. Their funding is also threatened. So I want to get back to this notion of programs like this. They are clearly examples of programs that are not babysitting. These are things where you're going to learn music. These are things where you're going to learn about debate. You're going to learn about cyber technology. But again, I mean, this thing is on the chopping block. That's pretty serious stuff.
It's very serious. All of our high schools would eliminate our after-school programs, enrichment programs.
Gone?
Gone like that.
Really?
Because there's no funding for them to replace it. And so that's the hard part when you're talking about the marching band, the academic decathlon teams, the cybersecurity teams. We have a Take Action campaign, which these students are also partners with, which are giving back to our community, doing various community service-oriented programs on Saturdays.
All right, well, let me just sort of get a final thought here, because I think if you keep it short, I'd like to hear from each one of you. Lana, what's your final thought on all of this? This is still dicey. We don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, I think just to add on to what Mr. Cortez said, I think it's more than we're just keeping our teenagers off the streets to prevent crime. We are definitely creating a positive impact through these after-school programs. They're teaching students, they're exposing them to the industry, they're giving them real-world experience in academia and in any other field they could possibly want to explore.
In your case, though, I gather that when you grow up, you want to be involved in cyber technology in some way. Is that accurate?
It's definitely a field that I'm considering, yes.
All right, and so this program has helped to plant in your mind some of the things you may want to do when you actually get into the workforce?
Absolutely. Cybersecurity is definitely not something that I considered before I joined cybersecurity or Cyber Patriot.
So that gave you the idea.
Yeah, and I think Cyber Patriot is also a unique competition in that the after-school program really does expose you to what the real-world industry will be like.
Abigail, final thought.
It has showed me that I am capable of leading a team, that I can work hard for the college admission, the job that I want in the future. It's helped me so much with my mental state, because, you know, it's not easy being a teenager, and when you have that encouragement from other people, it's amazing, because it shows that someone cares. And when someone shows that you care, you try harder. So it's helped me a lot, and I love it.
Final thought?
Equity. This provides equity for a lot of our students who couldn't afford otherwise. This is the after-school programming that most middle-class parents are driving the kids around to. We're able to provide that for our students on our campuses, at all of our campuses.
All right, thank you all very much. Really appreciate your being here and joining in this conversation. We'll all kind of have to wait and see what happens with this. Still ahead, California warning of a critical shortage of medical workers. That's a big deal. But now UCLA is stepping in with an all-new program to train medical assistants. We'll talk to some students working to fill that shortage and find new careers at the same time. A new report says as the baby boom continues to grow older, California will soon have a critical shortage of medical workers to care for them. Not enough doctors, nurses, and especially medical assistants, who are often the first people you interact with when you go to the doctor. But now UCLA is addressing that shortage with an innovative new medical assistant training program, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. Joining me now is Chief Nursing Officer Dr. Quanah Batiste-Brown. Dami Folletti is a recent graduate of the program, and Neil Ressa is currently a student there. And I said everybody's name right?
Yes.
That is usually one time in this show I'm going to mess up somebody's name. So far I'm doing well. Listen, I want to ask Quanah, first of all, to explain this program, because this is quite a departure from the norm.
Absolutely, absolutely. UCLA Health, our leadership, Dr. Alan Fogelman, really wanted to be able to ensure that our patients receive the best care possible, and it is through developing our own medical assistant program. As the creator of the curriculum based on national best practices, the accreditation standards, we actually modeled our medical assistant program after nursing school because the program was created by nurses. So our program is 12 months longer than standard medical assistant training, and it also integrates the use of our clinics. So we have over 200 clinics located in 3 counties. So we train the students in our practices, and then hopefully they will be employed.
I want to ask you something, because I, like anybody else, I go to the doctors.
Yes.
And I see plenty of medical assistants.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the shortage from? What happened?
Well, the shortage is that medical assistant training is actually very expensive. So it costs about $30,000 for someone if they wanted to go to a for-profit program, and it could be up to 2 years depending if they went to a local community college. So that also causes a shortage. And then some people don't have the resources, they don't have the time. So just imagine if you're working a full-time job, do you have the ability, you want to have a better career, but do you have the time or the resources to be able to do that on your own? So I think that leads to some of the shortage.
So I want to ask Dami, and I want you to tell me your full name. It's on your badge. I want to be sure. How do you say that?
It's Adedamola.
Okay,
yes.
I'll stick with Dami if that's okay.
Dami is fine.
Thank you. What have you gotten out of this program, and what drew you to the program?
Well, like Dr. Quanah said, nobody has $30,000 to go to school. And the first thing that drew me to the program was the flexibility and the fact that I could get a scholarship at the program. And so far, it's been amazing, the fact that I got a job after. And during the program, I was able to decide what I wanted to do next, which is very awesome.
So there are options, there are opportunities, you're able to move forward left and right and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And you know, you're an interesting story, Neil, because this wasn't your first thing. You come into this in midlife, right?
Yeah, I was in the health insurance industry for over 20 years.
And talk to me about what happened there and why you decided to go from health insurance to health.
Well, there's certainly disarray in the health insurance world. That's no secret. And I just found an opportunity through UCLA to make a career shift, you know, kind of late in my professional life, and with the scholarship that they offer, and you know, the academic standards, which are kind of tough. You know, I decided to take on the challenge and continue on with my career.
There you are right there.
Patients.
We're looking at a picture of you as we talk, and some other folks there in the program. And what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do?
I want to be a medical assistant
at
but
UCLA.
doing
What do you want to do?
Well, I like working on the front lines with these teams at UCLA that are filled with brilliant people, the front lines of patient care and helping with that effort.
You're not actually trained to be a doctor or to be some kind of a technician, are you? So Quanah, what exactly are the technical things that you learn how to do?
So absolutely. So medical assistants take blood pressure, they take vital signs. They're also able to do point-of-care tests as far as blood glucose, blood sugars. They can also assist the physician with procedures and set up for procedures, make appointments, schedule appointments, and assist the patient with what their need is. They can help filter information from the provider to the patient to get their refills in time. So they're actually the conduit to the provider, or the physician, and the patient.
So tell me if this is true or not. Chicken soup, is that a good cure?
I've heard for the soul.
You've heard for the soul. Very good. Well,
Yeah.
You've all warmed my soul today. I appreciate your being here. I think this sounds like a very exciting program.
Thank you.
And just one final thought. If people are interested in this, what do you tell them to do?
So I would tell them to look at our website. So they can go to uclaextension.org and look for the medical assistant program. There's a website there. There are applications.
And there are a lot of jobs out there?
Yes, there are
a lot
jobs.
of jobs
yes,
out there.
there are a lot of jobs out there.
All right, there you go. Still ahead, there's another shortage of qualified workers, this one in cloud computing. We'll tell you about a new program to train people for those jobs, and you may not believe the salaries they can pull in. Coming up. Welcome back to Fox 11 News in Depth. Cloud computing, it's all the rage now, and now Santa Monica College is teaching cloud computing for one simple reason, and that's that there are all kinds of big companies that are using it.
They're moving their data centers to either completely on the cloud or hybrid into the cloud environment because it's so cost effective. So students want to stay current in this marketplace. They really need to learn about cloud computing.
Santa Monica College has developed a cloud computing curriculum with Amazon World Services, which is one of the world's biggest cloud computing companies. Check out some of the job listings and salaries for cloud skills. Computer programmers can make about $90,000. Software developers over $100,000. And check this out, computer network architects can make $120,000. These are good jobs. These are good paying jobs. This is good. I may be in the wrong profession. This looks like, is that starting money? It is. That's starting, really, seriously, that's starting money. So how high can that get? Before we even get into this, if you start at 90 or 120, where can you go?
Quite a bit.
Sky's the limit?
Yeah, the jobs are hard to fill.
Tell me about this program. You wrote this program, right?
Yeah, so we've been working with Amazon Web Services for quite a number of years. The job needs are really high, and we put together a curriculum and courses to help students get certified in this space. We've been working with industry partners, and Amazon themselves have been unbelievably giving and supportive of our efforts. And students really, they just eat it up.
Why did Amazon get involved in this?
Well, they see the skills gap and the shortage. They've got this industry-leading platform, as you describe, and so their customers and partners are crying out for employees with skills in this space. And so Amazon is helping us to help themselves and their partners build an employee-based skills and complete the skills gap for them.
Howard Stahl is a professor over there at Santa Monica College, and also joining us is Brenda Rosas and Michael Brown. And I guess both of you are in this program. You've been in this program, is that right?
Yeah, I completed it last year, end of last year, and it took me about 5-6 months.
And so help me understand something. When I think of cloud, I think of my head in cloud. We're not talking about the same cloud, are we?
Yeah, it's more of like a computer that you rent that you have virtual access to. And mostly why it's in demand so much is because cost savings and time savings. That's why a lot of companies are migrating their infrastructure IT to the cloud. And that's where we come in.
Well, when I think of a cloud, Brenda, I think of like a big filing cabinet in the sky. Is that about right?
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, it works.
It works. But cloud is basically a service. It's basically what we have in IT striving to build towards. So when you want a computer and you want to run an application or a website, you don't have to worry about the tech anymore. You could just log in and launch something really quickly, and you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, Howard, explain to me a couple of things. First of all, why was this program needed? And secondly, are there a zillion jobs out there?
There are a tremendous amount of jobs out there. We have industry partners that are talking with us all the time. We're actually working with 19 other local community colleges to build this same program. And this model actually is going to be is being replicated and actually is moving forward in the Bay Area with Bay Area community colleges. So the community colleges are pretty nimble. We're able to respond to industry needs quickly. And that's what we've done here. And the job opportunities are wide open. Our partners are giving internships to our students who complete these certificates. Our students are passing industry certification exams.
What does it cost for a program like this?
Well, at the community colleges, the classes are $46 a unit, and we're talking about 12 or 15 units. And in a 6-month period of time, students.
So the investment's really very small.
It is. It really is. And you can get quite competitive quite quickly.
When you were younger and you were going to high school and then you got into college and you were thinking about computers, I assume, did you ever think we'd get to this point where the cloud would become such a big thing that it would need people trained to work with it?
Well, it's totally upended, pretty much every field. Almost any field you can think of, the cloud has upended that. And so some of the topics that students have mentioned here about all that capital expense. When I was going to school, there were data centers. So, servers were racked in a stack in a building that was air conditioned and cooled, and big companies invested millions of dollars in their data center. And now data centers are like dinosaurs.
Well, yeah, and speaking of dinosaurs, when I was in college, we were using hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
It worked. They laughed. Hey, look, bottom line, what do you want people to know if they're interested in your program?
Look at your local community college in the LA area. Many of us have very similar.
Go to the websites?
Go to the websites and sign up and join the movement.
All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Can't wait to get back to my computer. And we'll be right back with a heads up on this week's podcast after this. Want to listen to an interesting podcast? How about mine? What the Hell is what it's called. It's available on Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. This week, we're talking about strokes. Everything you need to know about symptoms, about the risks, what to do if something happens that you don't understand, but you know this could be trouble. It's available now along with about 40 other episodes. I hope you'll subscribe. That's What the Hell on iTunes, Google Play, and wherever you get podcasts. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great week. See you next time.